Ministry of Defense and Ministry of Public Works, the Inspector General of Police, service commanders, general officers, distinguished guests, senior officers, our beloved families, our heroes and heroines. I really am deeply honored to be here today. I think the most important day in the calendar of the Kenya Defense Forces is this day of remembrance, this day of thanksgiving. And you know, we have a lot to be grateful for, a lot to thank God for. And I think that we haven't done enough today to acknowledge some of our soldiers who are with us today, who have suffered injury in limb, in soul, and in mind. We haven't done enough today to acknowledge our widows and our orphans who allowed their loved ones, their husbands, their fathers, their brothers to serve this country. You can never do enough. You can never do enough because you can never understand the depth of the sacrifices that our soldiers make for this country every day. This Remembrance Day is just a small iota of our thanksgiving, because sacrifice is something deep, something profound, something that you can't touch, something that is self-evident, but something that we cannot really describe. But I think what we can do right now is to stand up and to clap for our injured soldiers who are with us today, to stand up and clap for our widows and orphans, to say thank you for your sacrifice, thank you for your tenacity, and thank you for still having hope. Let us stand up and really clap for them. Thank you. You may be seated. A day like this is also a day that calls us to reflect on this idea of duty. Our soldiers serve first because they love this country. They are patriotic. But even civilians are patriotic. Our soldiers serve this country because of duty. It is duty that will make you get up in the morning and go and face an enemy. It is duty that will keep you focused even when you want to run away. It is duty that will keep you coming to work even if you've lost a limb. It is duty that will keep you walking at night for miles and miles for this country. Duty is not showmanship. It is not drama. It is not play acting. Duty is something that is the engine of this country. Our soldiers are the engine of this country. They are our last bulwark of defense against our enemies. They are special. They do what we cannot do. They go where we cannot go. They stand when we cannot stand. And so on a day like this, when we remember our soldiers, it is for us, the civilians, to stand and to say, Asante, thank you for the duty. Thank you for the sacrifice. The thing about duty is that you do not serve under the umbrella of duty for praise. If our soldiers served for praise, let me tell you, so many things that they did would not happen. They serve for duty. Duty means that you do things that people don't see. That you stand up when people are not there. That you fight on when people cannot see you. You don't do things so that people will dance for you. You do things so that they acknowledge what duty means. You do things so that you understand that duty means a deep, deep love for our country, a deep, deep love for people. This day also reminds us that we must never stop caring. We must never stop loving. We must never stop remembering. You know, I keep telling the Kenya Defense Forces, generals, and in fact, anyone that I meet, that the Kenya Defense Forces is first a fighting force, it is second an institution, and most importantly, third, it is a community. It is a family. And therefore, we must do what family does. You stand up for each other, you sacrifice for each other, you support each other when you're down, you laugh with each other when you're up, and you keep going during the times in between. I am grateful that the theme for this day is about the welfare of our soldiers and their families, and for the community called KDF. Welfare is about dignity of the person. It is about understanding that each soldier is human, that each widow is human, that each child is human, that everybody needs to be supported, everybody needs to be lifted up, everyone needs to be touched by love. I thank all of you who are working for the welfare of the Kenyan soldier. Thank you for the welfare centers. Thank you for the hospitals. Thank you for the rehabilitation center that we are building. Thank you for the lawyers, for those who deal with their pensions and their compensation and their salaries. Thank you for those who are building a new accommodation for our soldiers. Thank you for showing what it means to care. We have become a country where caring is to a penny. We've got to go back to that state where we remember that every human being is valuable. Every human being has dignity. And we must remember to assert the rights of those human beings, which means that they must live in decent accommodation, which means that they must have access to those things that every human being does. This is what we are trying to do for our soldiers in the Kenya Defense Forces and in the Ministry of Defense. And that is to affirm their humanity every day. In closing, may I say this: let us never forget. Let us never forget the sacrifices that our soldiers make. Let us remember them at sunrise and at sunset. Let us continue to give gratitude. And finally, as I sit down, I also want to thank a group of soldiers who have made this country joyous and proud for many years. I want you to thank the Maroon Commanders. Thank you for the music. Thank you very much.